Alright, let's turn that down. Bonjour, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How's everyone doing on this fine Tuesday? This wonderful bull market. Hope you're all enjoying these wild conditions. And we've all printed millions of dollars in the last week. And of course, I jest. Not about the hoping you've had a good week thing, just in the perspective of making millions and millions of dollars. Unless you've been shorting. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah. Let us hello to some people. Oh, Nathan says smash the likes. Cheers, mate. Hello. Hello, Charles, Rangatang, Norbert, Aleo, bonjour. Flaws, lovely voice chat. Thanks. Never really been commented on my complimented. That's the one. On my voice, other than I sound British, which is kind of good because I am. Any advice for taking profits on spot? I almost round trip Vanry. So Vanry is a coin I've been shilling out of a lot. Obviously, it went up multiples, so yeah, it's one of those. You almost round tripped it. I mean, this is why I wrote an entire thread that got about 20,000 views or something around planning, and then I tweeted a meme the next day on liquidations. Sorry, the liquidation heat map on Bitcoin, and that got like 500 bajillion views. You know, it's one of those things where it's really difficult for me to say because it kind of comes down to your original plan. And I can talk about it now, but it's all hindsight bullshit. I mean, the easiest way that I try and do things is if you looked at it now and you're not far off your entry, you know, and I'm by not far off, you know, within 1 or 2%, you might as well just cut it and then just say, how am I going to re-enter this trade? That's my personal approach. I had to do that in 2018 actually. So basically I took out, I think 10x what I put in 2017, like towards the highs, and then let the rest of it, which was like, you know, a huge amount, go like minus 70%, and I just went, I don't know what to do with these fucking bags, I don't know how to manage it all, so I just sold everything and started again with a plan. And that was game changer for me. Tuesday, innit? Good evening, Charlie. Good evening, Tony Work in Progress, my friend. Praycoin. Hi, Charlie. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining the Paragon group for some focused content and learning to really craft that. How suitable is it for a small beginner account? It's got a lot of information in there. So it depends how seriously you take it, is the honest answer. You know, it's not a blind carbon copies and calls group where you don't have to switch your brain on. It's quite the opposite. We've got hundreds, thousands of hours of content. And you know, one of the things that I should probably encourage in the group actually is on days like this where I think it's really choppy and quite difficult to trade, that's the time where you can actually pour through content and learn and practice and backtest and get your systems sorted, get your risk management down, get your execution a bit better, you know, install a terminal, start playing around with things and start honing it for when/if, you know, we get more favourable conditions. Music off or lower it? Is it really that loud? I'll turn it down for you boys and girls and theys and everything. And hello, I'm from South England. Whoa, whoa, nice try, IRS. Nice try. But yeah, did I change the mic? No, I don't think so. I think this has been my standard mic. I might just have it a little bit further away from my beautiful lips. How about this? Here we go. Is that better? You can hear my dulcet tones. Yeah, nice try, Radium. Open the market rug so I can bet the house on Bowden. We'll have 150 market cap. I think the problem with markets rugging in general, and we've seen it across the board, is that memes tend to go pretty risk off. And it's one of the first things that really suffers. Because the downside of being high beta is that when they go up very fast. Because they are high beta compared to the rest of the market. When the market starts going down, guess what? They go down much faster. And, you know, that's what we want, is we want volatility. Let's be honest, if we were sat in this market and it was a bit like TradFi where you had to really leverage up to the tits to actually get some decent size that yielded meaningful results with the lack of volatility. A 1 or 2% day in TradFi is a busy day, right? Whereas obviously in the land of shitcoins, that's a busy minute or a normal candle on some altcoins. Have a plan when you start? Yeah, that's it. And I wrote a big thread on it. Like I said, go check it out if you're struggling with it. It's just about like the thought process of where do I take profit, what's my invalidation, and it is, as I said it in it, what is the biggest mistake that I see with people generally in these kind of conditions. Like, I didn't plan for a dip. It's like, okay, well, I didn't plan for it to come back to my level. I just thought it was going to instantly go to $1 bajillion and I was going to retire a bajillionaire and that was it. It was just going to do this forever. Like always thinking, well, if it loses this range, what am I going to do? Am I happy to hold that? My entry was down here. Am I holding that round trip for entry? Do I have to take some off? What do I do? What do I do? And one of mine recently was, I'll just finish this thought process and then we'll go on to Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I got some rubbish adverts selling me some shite. Fuck off. Was Doge. So, like with Doge, my plan was, this was my long, shared it in the group, I've been in it for fucking ages. We talked about momentum divergences, we talked about these levels in terms of taking profits. We talked about the fact that this momentum divergence isn't clean, so I wouldn't take a short, but it is quite clean in terms of being able to just see that each drive up is has less and less momentum behind it, which you could just see visually from price action, right? It's not particularly difficult. But for me, because this was a decent spot size position, I've had to shave some off it because it's been far too long, and my Doge thesis is pretty strong, but this is a lot of dollar value to me personally, and the fact that we failed to close above this 0.16 level, I've had to kind of interfere and intervene with this trade a little bit and just take some off, which is always kind of the plan that I'm allowed to take some off this. Ideally we come back, we close above, and then I just re-add and we just play the next leg and rotation in the market. But that's going to be, a separate trade with a separate trade thesis on it, and my thought process and stops for the remainder of this trade are going to be different, right? So I'm adjusting it, I'm moving up, I'm effectively reducing size, I'm taking some profit off the table because I don't want to end up in a situation where I've essentially round-tripped the whole thing. And, I had a plan that if we failed to break through levels, I'm allowed to change my criteria. So that's exactly what I've done, that's exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, the whole market's taken a shit, but yeah, let's jump into BTC. Has anyone got any major thoughts on BTC? Any huge biases that we're definitely, like Capo was right, we're going to 12k. Literally shorting tier and it's moving 1, 2, 3% per minute. Yeah. Saw the ARB chart and it's tragic. I mean, most charts are tragic, to be honest with you. We've had a huge extended sell-offs on pretty much every single altcoin. Not on a 1 minute basis. But if we zoom out a little bit, I posted this chart the other day because I kind of, I think people understand how brutal it's been, but most alts are kind of 30 to 50% off the highs, right? Very, very few of them are kind of above BTC, and only 1 or 2 of them are actually positive, right? And it's BCH and CKB, whatever the fuck CKB is. But Bitcoin is down 12%, and everything else is down a lot more. Which, again, is back to that beta conversation, and that's what we want to see and all that, but, don't be misguided. It can still go down another 30 or 50% if it wants to, right? The market can do whatever the fuck it likes. We saw Luna go minus 90, and then minus 90 again, right? And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, but for me, the big kind of point of this stream is I'm not trying to catch the bottom. I'm trying to sit on my hands. I'm trying to be patient. I've loaded a little account with a small amount of money just so I can piss around and just trade intraday and just scratch that itch and just try along some coins and make a few pennies, but it's nothing significant. I am in a couple of positions still, like Doge, and actually my friend is in whiff, and is in a whiff short. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the whole market is in a downtrend. Like, it's inescapable. You cannot look at this chart and tell me that it's hugely risk on, right? And even on the intraday rotation. So jumping into like today, for example, we ran up. Oh, sorry, not today. That's not today, is it? We ran up this morning, like a few percent, ran it all back down, and now ran it back up a bit, ran it all back down, and now we're starting to run it up again. But this time looks like there's a little bit more momentum on a couple of strong alts, particularly memes, which are typically high beta. But there's no kind of major narrative. The start of the week there was a bit of strength on Ondo and stuff, but really all we're doing, or all we seem to be doing, is kind of oscillating between a plus 6%, a minus 7%, plus 6%, minus 7%, and kind of slowly grinding down generally, right? There's not much strength in the market, and that for me, is just not the time to be deploying capital. 0 then a million. Dropped to 51k, then up only. To dig out creds content for Evolving R. I think that was Dante's originally. Traded Dante's concept, but yeah, Evolving R is just the concept of obviously as you go up, are you going to risk essentially this whole trade for that tiny 1% extra of where your arbitrary target is? That's the general premise of it in a nutshell. Would love to hear your BRC20 ordinal picks. I've got quite a few BRC20 plays. In terms of ordinals, there's not really much for me personally. 0 than a million. Kappa says one more push lower. I don't know. Follow what GCR alt account KSI says. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've traded me on with. Do you sell alts that under or just hold spot? What do you mean, brother? Do I hold them underwater? Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So, particularly on-chain bags. So on-chain bags for me are usually binary bets. So it's like 1 or 0. So it goes up a significant amount, or it goes to 0. Like, the bag size is my risk. So if you were trading a normal account with $100,000, you had 1% risk, so $1,000 every time you lose. On the assumption that it stayed at 100,000, that $1,000 would be my equivalent of an on-chain bag, though. For on-chain bags, I wouldn't use 1%. Obviously, I'd use slightly more. So it might be $5,000 or $10,000 or something like that, and that would be a binary bet of it's going to 0 or it's going to 10x. As you typically need one of those to pay for, quite a few. So yeah, I do hold spot underwater. I've probably got some underwater bags at the moment. I don't really want to go through all of them. Let's be honest. People are taking profits. We have a nice run since October. I mean, technically, we've been in a bull market since last year, right? Like, genuinely. This is the thing that a lot of people are like, oh, when alt season comes, it's like, we've actually been going up since January 2023. And yes, most of that was actually BTC, and we only had a few runs back here. But like, when we started running up on BTC, actually, it was quite tradable. We had a few runs on like Aptos and LDO and stuff like that way back here. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily of the view that we're just going to get one absolutely bananas alt season where you're waking up and every coin is up 2x on the day, right? I think we've had a lot of a kind of fever pitch of euphoria in terms of some of the stuff we were getting up here, particularly around like AI coins and all of that. But I am quite hopeful that we see another AI run. I just think it's from lower. Saying I'm dumping the market on your asses? Yeah, mate. I'm solely responsible for dumping the market. Actually, I have a question about spot positioning. What given alts have done the past week, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If I wanted to split my capital even into 4 or 5 projects, but get good entries at the bottom of accumulation range of structures before believed to be the next thing up, validation is price losing the range. Good lord, this is a big question, my brother. I'll answer this, then I'll get onto Bitcoin. If stop loss placement is a large percentage below our allow for wicks, etc.,
Can I get my full cash allocation into the right position while buying into risk? Risk management rules for trade 1 to 3%. Is there a better way to approach this positional building or keeping tight risk management? Good example, B finance back for structures. So I don't want to buy full-size NAP, full-size over a period of time, scaling into those and then eat 20-30% borderline set position if it breaks down, as that would be a significant loss of capital. The LDR looking for traders entry, positional plays instead of just throwing money at stuff and becoming a backholder. That is, yeah, a long question. So in terms of buying and accumulating bags, it really depends on your style. Like for me personally, I like buying like close to breakouts. An example, Vanry, like this. Like you've got, I'm not suggesting that it's going to get back to here, like this here, or like this here, consolidation after a breakout. Do you know what I mean? Like that's great for me. Like we're actually coming back to retest that, which is absolutely nuts. I don't know if you've got a specific example. Like I try and do wider stops and just like enter them basically. So stuff like where's my stop loss tool? Massive. So I would much rather just go in like this and do that. And obviously I didn't know it was going to go to exactly there, but something like that, probably to these highs, would have been the thought process, if that makes sense. I don't really piss around with DCAing in over time, and this is my approach. I know other people who do. In fact, I was chatting to someone today whose approach is basically wait for everyone to be fucking bored and then just start a TWAP and just start a TWAP for however long it takes, whilst prices within whatever rough bounds he wants to buy in, stop it down there, and just literally that's all he does, and then he waits for reversal. That's all he does. For me, I can't really be asked with all that. I just go, do I want to buy a spot position in this at this point in time? If not, when do I want to buy it? Let's say it's a project that I really want. I'm trying to think of something that I want to grab a position in. It's like Solana. Solana's a pretty incredible coin. It's had an absolutely wonderful run. We talked about this last week, I think, on the stream, and I think we even drew this. But this here, if I wasn't a lazy asshole, I'd actually set an alert. Like that for me is like under over, that kind of thing. Like great. Personally, I don't like buying in accumulation ranges for a couple of reasons. One, what you tend to find is that stuff in an accumulation range, just like blindly in it, is there for a reason. Whilst other coins in the market are breaking out, you're tying your capital up in something that is shite, or at least not running yet. So you're making a kind of preemptive bet. What I like to do is find stuff that's in an accumulation range that looks like this, and looks like it's going to break out, and get in on that. And then if it doesn't break out, then my capital is freed. I've taken a small loss, but off we go. And then the other thing is, once it has broken out, I'm happy to kind of jump on board as well. So, and the one that jumps out for me on that example is Rune, way back when. Probably because your shades on your chart are really beautiful and soothing. Could you please share how to do them? 1 Bitcoin, my friend. That's the exact point where I bought Vanry. Legend. Wide stop, 2 times leverage, Gucci. I mean, I personally think that if you're, on spot, like, is the best way to do any of it. We saw some really brutal leverage flushes and wipes in the last few weeks, and I think that in and of itself is a nice message to kind of stay away from leverage. So I suppose Inspect as an example. I have an allocation of capital I want to buy. Don't want to DCA if it keeps bleeding. If we get a deviation back into the range, that's long. Yeah, that. Let me look at the Inspect chart. I imagine it's gonna look fucking horrible. And then we'll go on to PTC and the usual. Yeah, so like, I invested in this just as a full disclosure, but I wouldn't be buying it here. Like, I don't want to, like, how I trade personally, I do not want to buy weakness. I don't want to buy something that's just fucking trending down, particularly when there is literally no price action supporting it, right? Very different. if there was a huge consolidation over here and you had like a nice pivotal point to be able, and then obviously you yeeted up. We had all this price action here that just couldn't break past this super strong level, and let's pretend that we actually drew it properly and it was up there. And you know, this is a reasonable place to assume a bounce, especially if you had a strong reaction in that candle there. Like, it starts painting a story, right? Because you've got this price action back here, you've got this pivotal level, and actually, yeah, maybe this is a good place to at least deploy some capital. And then add as you break the diagonal, and then add as you get onto here. So 1, 2, 3 executions. But as it stands, this looks like a big pile of steaming dog shit. And it's not. I think it's a good project. You know, and I've still got a fat bag of it. But I wouldn't be buying this when I could buy this. Your chance of it playing out to a at least range high play once it gets to here, far better. But I appreciate that is literally like a 50%, 30% increase in price. The only other way that I'd be able to justify it personally is if I could see some form of divergence going across the lows, but I cannot. It's a little bit of a janky one across this, but it's not, you know, it's not in extremes. It's not particularly sexy. So that would be it. Hopefully that answers your question, my friend. I know that was a lengthy one, but yeah, let's go to BTC. Go to BTC. And I will not get distracted by altcoins, which I much prefer talking about, to be honest. It's much more interesting. So what's everyone's thoughts? Are we done? Are we cooked? Rally over? Straight to zero? Just specifically for BTC. How low do we go? Market showed us at the weekend, 2 or 3x, isn't that safe? Exactly. People on 3x leverage getting totally fucking wiped. And that's what I mean, everyone thinks like 3x is a 33% move, but it's not because of the maintenance margin. And also, there's just the fact that you can get a nice bit of illiquidity where market makers just step aside because the volatility is too high. There's nothing in the books. There's nothing in the books for people to sell into. You get a couple of big sells, and it just wicks a fuck. And then when you get stopped, or you try and stop, it's just there's not enough to fill you, and you end up getting liquidated. Which time frame am I looking for a breakout? It depends. If I'm trading high time frame spot positions, then it's going to be a high time frame chart, right? So if I'm looking at a huge accumulation range over years, then I want a daily chart that's doing, you know, that's doing that kind of ranging process and then starting to show higher lows and a clean level of resistance. Yeah. But obviously, if I'm trying to do breakouts on like a low time frame rotational trade, then that's a, you know, it can be a 1 second chart, but it lags when I'm on stream. See the results of today's Champion League? No idea, mate. I don't follow football. It's very uncouth. Nah, I'm joking. Cannon I quit on my birthday years ago. So, or around my birthday, I should say. I don't think it was my birthday. But, yeah. Everyone had gone out and bought Manchester United stuff for my birthday. I was like, hey, football, it's dead to me now. So, yeah. And they're all fucking livid. Anyway, like to me, Bitcoin really just isn't great. We covered it in the last stream. In fact, I think last stream we covered 2 scenarios, didn't we, in terms of like a short up here. And this process around if this was the fake out, then come back in the range and basically short up there, which I did not take. I was still, and still am, long from 63k. So I'm basically like sat slightly underwater on this long. I've got no intention of closing it, to be honest with you. The reason is that this is like the last for bulls. This range, in terms of how it's structured, is fine with me. I've got a short open on whiff, as some of you might have gathered. It is not my friend, it is me. It's a hedge against what drunk related to KSI. So yeah, at least if I am wrong horrendously on that, then at least I'll make some money out of it. Would I long this here? Absolutely not. Am I being lazy and just holding this long? Yeah, probably. I mean, from a structure perspective, like high time frame price action is pretty, this is a pretty pivotal level. And if we lose that, this is where we're going to, like unobjectively. Like if you are looking at level to level plays, which is why, like for me, altcoin risk on, it just cannot be a thing. Like if you are suggesting that the entire market of, what was it, a 13% drop in BTC, altcoins have dumped between 30 and 50%. You have another 13% to go before I think we really start seeing some true demand on the assumption that we lose this level. So what do you think happens to altcoins? I actually don't think they get as battered as they did in this sell-off, don't get me wrong, because there's less froth in this move here than there was up here. But you can see quite consistently that there's not as much strength in the market as there was weeks ago on alts. And we also have to consider, I don't like the chart, I don't like the chart type, but I will use it for the point of illustrating this. I think we talked about it last week, which is the whole Bitcoin dominance chart. And the fact that, halvening's around the corner and all that bullshit, whatever narrative we want to talk about, I'm not going to focus on a halvening narrative or anything like that. Just talk about the chart. Just look at the fact that Bitcoin dominance has basically been in an uptrend again since last year, and we've just had, a pretty kind of explosive move to the upside. There's kind of no reason for me to think that we're going to resume the alt risk on in any major way anytime soon. And I would love more alt action because it's where I thrive. It's where I smash longs and make the most money. But what is the point in trading this when I can just wait and trade slightly more favorable conditions? I think that's one of the hardest things to do, is just sit on your hands when you've essentially got what you think is a money printing machine in front of you, and actually the entire market is just choppy, apart from some alts on chain, which have either done this or are doing this. So yeah, I'm super conscious about BTC at these lows. I do not think that this is a free short at all in terms of like shorting the lows. Like the times to short were way back here. Like I actually said on if I delete all of this stuff and just take that away, on my Monday's outlook in the Paragon, I was basically looking at this range, this mid-range, and going, the only short that I could possibly take is basically this. But I didn't take it because I was already in a whiff short, and I was already long from here. I just didn't close it and didn't read the market particularly well. But I would not be shorting down here. The only thing that I might do is if I started seeing that we were going to, sell off to this low for the fourth time, ape in with very small size, and just try and trend follow it a little bit, because if you inverted it, that's a kind of typical bullish pattern in terms of higher lows, and we're starting to test that resistance. And if we really went for it, then I could jump on board with a small size and just a trend following trade. Does that make sense? I think one of the things in these conditions that people kind of don't respect is that if I was in a bull market and everything was like as it has been for some time, like I'd be quite tempted to get on the long side of this. But because you don't want to short generally, it's harder psychologically to take the short side. I mean, I personally prefer... Oh, dumbass. Got played by my own inversion. Yeah, something quite aggressive. Whoops. Do I really think 50k will, sorry, 60k will hold, or do I think 50k next? I think that's like one of the wonderful questions. The longer that we chop, the more we bleed. Yes. So for me, like if I had to bet gun to my head, what do I think is going to happen in terms of like weighted probabilities? I think this or something like this probably does play out, to be honest with you, whether it's here at these lows, which are clearly getting defended, or it's further up. You know, I think, as I said last week, I think this is the area to look for. Well, whether we front run that, which would be really bullish, right? As we do that, we do a strong sell-off and we just absolutely front run it, and everyone sees this is a wonderful opportunity to get some cheap Bitcoin at $54,000. Right before that happening, blah blah blah, lovely. Yeah, I think this is the level kind of for me. But we are at range lows. You know, it's silly to try and be like, right, I'm yellow shorting, like I said, back up here, like a small trend following trade, fine. But betting your entire net worth on a big trend reversal, no. Just no. And that would coincide with, for me, with a lot of like high time frame levels on a lot of other alts. Right, Ondo's one that's been really nice in terms of it had a massive V recovery in terms of the last couple of days, and we're back, you know, back at this kind of pivotal level on it, and it's a bag that I think, you know, is going to do pretty well. What's up to this war situation? Yeah, kind of. Where do I think we are in the market right now? If you're into Elliott Wave, which wave? I'm not into Elliott Wave, my friend, unfortunately. So where I think we are is, well, we're either in one of two places. And I'll tell you which one I think we're in. So we're either in the end of the run, and that's it. We've had our fun, and off we fuck, and we have a little couple of rallies, and eventually we kind of bleed out and just go back into an accumulation range for a couple of years until something happens and crypto becomes cool again, and off we go. And we go back to one or two interesting coins on chain coming out every now and again, and that's it. Or my preferred option is it's over for a month or two, and we probably get a little bit of a lull in terms of like BTC, range a little bit, probably some form of capitulation. Maybe that's around that 50k mark, and then we just start recovering. But we have a Bitcoin-led rally, led by potentially the whole BRC20 narrative and Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff in terms of like runes and all that crap. But I'm not particularly exposed to that in summer, and then you know, after we have a basically Bitcoin rally, alts start getting a bit of a bid and a risk on, and we get a couple of good rotations, and we find the new 100x coin that everyone goes mad about, and off we go. But realistically, you know, I think we need a pretty sizable call off, and I know we've had a pretty good one. We've had, you know, minus 30, minus 50%, and that's great. And if that is the lows, I will be very thankful for it. But I'm preparing for the worst. And not the worst as in it's all going to go straight to zero, or it's going to go back into full bear market. Like, I think that we pull back over the next couple of months, and then we just rally hard on BTC, and then we go back into the alt cycle, basically. Does that make sense? But who knows? Like, this is why we got charts. We got charts to objectively tell us what the market is doing and what every other participant is doing, and more importantly, what other participants are willing to place their pennies into, and at what price. And you know, any fucking TA person can tell you that if this breaks, the chances of us going down a lot further, down to here, are very, very high, right? Because why would anybody be buying Bitcoin here when you could buy it for here? I like that, I agree, and this is my preference as well. Have a call off and then next year, early next year, blow off top. I mean, I don't necessarily think we'll get an exaggerated blow off top, and that every cycle is different, right? So in 2017 we had that massive blow off top and it was just looked like that, and then the whole market died. In 2021 we had a kind of blow off top, but from a BTC perspective it was more a distribution range, and then it just dropped. So kind of what we got now, right? And in that drop, all alts went minus 75%. So it was quite different, and most of those alts had actually had a strong run and then consolidated for a few days. So it wasn't like the market just went bosh, bosh, straight up, straight down. Yeah, the best scenario, the best trade that I can think of for BTC itself is literally just around this. Like, if we sell off, if we take some of this liquidity down here, if we maybe even wick down to here, and we start showing real demand, getting a little bit of a position size there with a validation under here, and then on a reclaim of this range, building up more and bringing your average up to here, i.e. under the range, you've then got a stop there. You've pretty much got a kind of free trade for the range low to range high play. That would be great if you can actually see the demand coming in down here. And if it's a pretty shallow dip and it just gets bought back like a big V reversal, then that gives you everything you need to go long. Why did retail never really come in? I think retail were here. I think a lot of retail were here. Because we have the US election cycle, I don't think they'll actually go until after that happens. Yeah, maybe. Good move, bro. Hello to Omnitrix. Edit wave always sounds like an 80s pop star. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think retail are here. I think the whole, there are people on TikTok and doing all that kind of stuff, promoting projects and doing Safe Moon-esque stuff, but maybe just not as crazy as it was in 2020, 2021. Well, I think we had quite a wild run, to be honest, in terms of some of the airdrops, in terms of some of the just strange events. Hello from Dubai. Hello, Crypto Chris. When banana chart? Oh, I've got the banana chart right here, mate. So banana chart, scam, 0. I'm joking. Banana's actually really, really good. It's held up massively. I'm just fudding your bags because they're not my bags, obviously. See, it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. Yeah, it's got a long way to go. Long way to go. I mean, it's an on-chain beast. Like everything has suffered, hasn't it? Let's be honest. Like, although one of my on-chain bags that hasn't, well, it has suffered, I suppose. It was at $2 at the highs. We'll run to it. We'll run to it because I posted about it, and it's now like 40% up. Google Trends not like before for retail interest? Yeah, probably not. I think that generally a lot of people who wanted to participate in crypto probably got burnt. I think a lot of people who want to participate in crypto know how to participate. And if you're judging involvement by Google Trends, then it's a bit of a tilted metric, to be honest. I used to have this color scheme, but people kept abusing me. Yeah, I get abused for it in the group. Someone said it's not about the color scheme. It's about how you explain things and how you portray it. Because look at Charlie's charts and how disgusting, or how fucking disgusting they are, I think were the words. And, you know, nobody bats an eyelid. Which is fine. I do not mind. Do you think that everyone is looking to long that 58k? No, not necessarily. I don't try and, like, think in terms of 3D, like, what's it called, like multilateral thinking, or third order logic, right? So third order logic would be like, well, I know that somebody is going to bid there, therefore I'm going to bid here, and I'm going to front run them. Because, like, first of all, I don't know that to be the case, and second of all, that's just kind of retarded, right? Like, the scenario I gave you is it sells off, it starts V-reversing on a strong bid. You know, we've basically broken out of this range, and in my friend Essie's, favourite sort of saying is deviation. Like, it comes out, it gets rejected because value should be within that range. It gets bought up pretty much instantly, which is why you need a V reversal and not something that looks like this, or something that just looks like a slow sell-off. You want to see, or even a slow buyback, right, over time. Like, this is fucking days, right? But you get the picture. Like, low time frame strength. Like, that's the trigger. That's the reaction that you're looking for in terms of how the market is reacting to the fact that we've broken out the range. And that's how I base a lot of my trading. It's not around arbitrary levels. Arbitrary levels are there to give you an idea of where you want to do business, right? I want to do business around here or here, maybe around the mid-range, but that's kind of it, right? Because I know that if I'm wrong, I've got to stop here. I'm wrong here. But I give more of a shit about how it's responding. Those two behaviors are very, very different. And they are, particularly with altcoins, which is what I trade more often than BTC. Which one is strong? Which ones are going for it? Myro's been very high beta recently. And I think will be an incredible trade as and when the market chills out a little bit. My brother, we are dripping in retail. My brother, we are retail. As far as I'm aware, none of us are, sat on an investment desk or trading desk. The ship of last cycle. No, I imagine. Changa likes the colours. Yes, fuck you all. Changa's my man, or woman, or they. Yeah, it's meant to be the kind of golden Wonka colour, and the gold is the golden ticket. So yeah, that's my thought process around BTC. I think there's basically a simple range play around around this level. If you get a sell-off, I'm not brave enough to buy this. I kind of want to see some form of liquidity sweep on the lows, and or some form of strength. But like, really, so far not a lot. So you could argue that holding these lows is strength, and not being able to break down is strength. But yeah, I'm going to stick in my currently underwater long, which I think is on this one. No. Well, I obviously deleted it, which is from 63, I think it is. So maybe I'm just above water now. Nope, we're about break even. And that was from the other day in the Barragan group. It was actually from way back here. Way back here. That was here. This consolidation here. So yeah, I've been in it for a while. Such confusing PA, to be honest. Either a low or we rug. Yeah, exactly. If PvP retail, I mean the masses. What's happening in a real alt cycle because no mass retail? I disagree with you. I disagree with you because I think that most people are convinced that we're going to get another huge alt run and that it's going to be absolutely insane and it's going to be wild. Don't worry, you've got other chances to make it and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be popular with this opinion, but like the entire market has like gone mad. But we are in this age where, have a look. since back here, like it's gone up like 150% since October last year. I know it's gone back down again, and I don't see this as being completely unreasonable in terms of total asset size and all of that kind of stuff. But it's gone up massively, and I think some of the things that we've seen, like the bonk run, the whiff run, Pepe, all that kind of stuff, which someone has asked about in the chat, I think all of those kind of things, and the on-chain run with memes, I think it has been pretty crazy. I think that at this stage of like crypto's evolution, if you want it to be as crazy as it was in 2017, you're just gonna have a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you. We, like up here, if this was the kind of equivalent, it's actually quite a nice level, isn't it, really, when you look at it? That was the equivalent of basically the top of May 2021. Like, the highs of May 2021 were not far off. And I understand how this chart works in terms of it's a completely kind of made up number in terms of, it is not 1.272 trillion of completely liquid one-to-one dollar-backed assets. I could spend $10 and buy, $10 of Litecoin at $1 billion per Litecoin, or $1 trillion per Litecoin, and you'd see the entire market just do this, right? Completely understand that. But my point being that from a froth perspective, that was pretty much peak froth. That was peak froth of the rally back here. And like, yeah, okay, there was a bit more here. But the reality is that, like, just because it didn't feel as insane, because attention and liquidity was much more dispersed over, however many more alts than were about in this period, probably, 100x, 1000x maybe more alts if you include all the on-chain stuff that launches every fucking day. You get 1 million of them launching every single day. I think we've had a lot of fun. And I don't know, personally I'm not expecting ever again in my life to wake up to, an alt season like the kind of end of 2021 where, pretty much every coin is up like 70 or 80%. I just don't see that happening. But I would be more than happy to be wrong. I've joined stream in a while. Hey Dominic, yeah, I'm good mate. How are you? Do I think the base memes is forced? I don't think it was forced. I think it was like every meme category, right? So what happens is with anything, any new coin, any new category, any new kind of subject, any new and successful meme, is you get spin-offs of that. So like the first AI project, the first couple of AI projects, there was hardly any, right? And then every project just started pivoting to AI. Oh, we've got an AI something or other. We've got an AI this, we've got an AI that. Or we've partnered with some AI team. Like, everything starts doing it. And then you get more launches, like on-chain, that just are called, Dave AI. Oh yeah, Dave's an AI now. Like, buy Dave AI coin because it's got AI in the title, right? And I think that's like what's happened with like base memes, is that started with base memes because memes on any chain are pretty good. If they haven't pumped yet, there's a good chance that the narrative can pump them. But like all memes, they're pretty, one, forced, and two, they are shite generally in risk-off conditions. But you want to find some strong memes that kind of haven't had their run yet, or are showing strength even in these conditions, because when these conditions stop, they are likely to be the ones that run. With on Vegas Sphere ended up being the top signal. Yeah, true. And the only AI they use is to make the images of the Pepe. Yeah, exactly. At the end, you got AI meme projects. Yeah, exactly. It's all a bit messy. One thing that I kind of think that is massively overcrowded and everyone is trying to... What the fuck? Hello, Tia. Okay. Everyone's trying to catch the next leg of is ETH. And wouldn't it be fitting if ETH just didn't have another run like it used to? Like, everyone's like, oh, ETH BTC, the cycle. It would just be comical, in my opinion, if it never ran again. I think as soon as people stop trying to time the ETH BTC bottom, I think it'll run like a motherfucker. But there's not really huge amounts of catalysts for ETH. Shield and Pleb, Charlie? Yeah, I can Shield and Pleb. Pleb's done pretty well. Like, one of the ones that bounced off the lows. I haven't looked at it today. But yesterday it was up 30-40% or something. Which, you know, when the market is selling off massively and then it just does this, you know, that, like I said before, that's kind of where I want to be doing business, like trying to capture some of this. But like all meme coins are, you know, high risk, invest what you can afford to lose and all that kind of wonderful stuff. But yeah. You know, Kai was one. Oh, it's properly ran. Yeah. Posted it here. Literally, this is the price action kind of I was talking about earlier, right? So strong run up. We've got some form of resistance, turn support, kind of support there, you know, and bang, a nice positive kind of reaction from that. And it's only a 62 mil market cap. Obviously, I'm not telling you to fucking buy it, do what you want. But my point being, like, this is, you know, a project that I'm bullish on. I hold some, and that's what I want to see, like some kind of strong candles. Yeah, I'll claim clout for whatever the fuck that was, 30% move or some shit. But yeah, obviously on-chain is very free, different to nice high liquidity perp trading. So yeah, where we at? We've kind of covered Doge, talked about that. We've got a lot of shite in terms of like DYM. I was long this and got cucked. Again, I think that like basically any high time frame reclaim of ranges I could be tempted by, but it's going to be really difficult for me just to go, okay, I'll jump into this, because price is going to have to go up, what, I was going to say 50%, but my mental maths is obviously terrible, 36% to get back up there. ENA was just one that not we, because I wasn't, that they were trend following in the group with docs kind of system, and it was really, really nice until it wasn't, which is basically reminiscent of the entire market. So very strong uptrend, series of higher highs and higher lows until it kind of breaks and then sells off and just dies with the rest of the market. NEAR was on my radar because it was higher on spaghetti earlier on this rise, and what we had is essentially range reclaim, which I was obviously far too late for, breakthrough, push out, retest, and kind of go. So in normal conditions, that would be a really nice trade for me. Can I please do GRT and looks? I will not do GRT, but I will do looks because I've talked about looks. So yeah, like that's quite high on my radar in terms of intraday stuff, but Ondo is the main one, and Whiff from a short perspective. I don't know why. Why hasn't got it on there, but whatever. I'm basically short from up here somewhere with a stop at the highs, and I think I did this for Twitter. I could go find the post and get the actual numbers, but I can't be asked. From a structure perspective, like this is the first kind of worrying sign. So we are in a strong downtrend structurally. This higher high has broken market structure there, and we have now got a higher low, which is kind of the start potentially of a new market structure and a new regime to the upside. Oh boy, yeah, claim my ENA. Yeah, thing with airdrops is it's always really difficult to time what goes on with them, because often you get a huge dump and then you get some buys and then you get ranges and slow bleed. That seems to be the standard kind of airdrop pattern. What we're going to do, looks. So as I tweeted, I got some of this OTC, which isn't unlocked until May, I don't think. But it's like 20% of my position, and 80% spot. So hashtag disclosure, because obviously you have to do that. I thought it was pretty reasonable the other day when it actually sold off and held this level in terms of the 0.11 level, but now, again, it doesn't look particularly great. See what I did there with the pun? For me, it would be just reclaiming this, which is essentially a pivot around that, and around this, and going, right, well, I don't want to try and long lows. I'll just try and play a reclaim of that level, and then that would give me an invalidation to trade around, right? So yeah, again, wouldn't try and catch lows personally. Can't see anything from a divergence perspective. It's a bit janky in terms of that. Yeah, can't really see anything to play off of. What coins are on my radar? So I like ENA and Pendle. Well, I just went through ENA and not particularly. Like, it's not going to be on my list of stuff to buy. I know Magus is very big on Pendle at the moment and likes it, I believe. And I mean, that is a pretty fucking strong coin when you compare it to the rest of the market, right? The only thing that I really don't like about it is it's got my favourite shorting setup, which is essentially strong parabolic move up, pull back, and then lower high. And that, for me, is just like that shorting there is usually pretty good. Pretty good RR. And expectancy, obviously. It's not just a bullshit risk reward talk, you can make it do whatever you want, right? Oh, pretty good RR, boys. What was the strategy if you got a bad hedge in any coin? What do you mean? What if you caught essentially a bad trade? I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm beating people up, but like, your strategy should be decided before you enter the trade. If you're clicking the button and you don't have a plan for what happens once you've clicked that button, then you fucked it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be rude about it. But that's how for trading is a plan, and that's why I was banging on about it. So again, I'm going to paste my lecture tweet in the chat. Hey Zerbish, yes, it has been an interesting week. For your viewing pleasure, have a read, have a think. Because, you know, you're flinging real money about, and that's the thing, is like, people gamify crypto loads, and it is a game to me, and it is the best game on the planet, but, like, you can't cry when you lose if you haven't got a plan. And if you are operating without a plan, it makes it really difficult, I think, to change things as you're going through things. So if I know that at this point I'm wrong, and at this point this is where I sell, you know, if I'm doing this and I go, right, I'm going to sell here, if it goes to here I'm wrong, I can put my stops in, I can put my take profits in, I can enter my position, and you know what I can do? I can walk away. I can walk away. Great. You know, what I do around low time frame alt rotations and some of the trading I do on like this chart, no, I can't just walk away. I can't really do that, and I have to enter, I have to have that plan kind of live. I will put a stop in. I'll put a hard stop in, but I might put like a hard stop in down here somewhere, right? And then I might long here, and then I might be dragging that hard stop up as I'm going up. But everything's decided up front, so that I don't have to think. Because if it starts going up here, and you shorted here, you now have to think. And when you start thinking, in the moment, you go, well, I'm down $10,000, but if it goes here, well, it might just take these and then go back down, right? So you hold it for a little bit longer. You're now down $20,000. It sweeps up, and you go, great, it's taken all of these stops, and then it just starts fucking going. You're now down $30,000. Now what you do? You only wanted to lose 10. That was the maximum you were willing to gamble. And now it's 40. And now it's only 35. Oof, thank fuck. Oh, now it's 50. Now what you do? Fuck, I can't lose $50,000. Bang, close. Boof. Fucking dies. Like, how many people have been in that kind of situation? Like, just panic and not knowing, and oh my god, it's dipping, oh great, like, that's not as bad as it was, I'll close it if it goes down to this, never fucking goes down, yada yada yada, or vice versa, you know, in a long situation, you know, it's whatever. Like, I know I sound like I'm fucking drumming the same point home, but it's because it's the thing that I see the most. Many times, not with big positions, but still. And yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a big position or a small position, it's the process. The process that you're going through on every single trade. It's the discipline. It's the thing that fucks most people. Like, genuinely. And that doesn't mean you're going to get it right all the time, right? Does not mean that at all. And you will still make some mistakes sometimes. Nobody is perfect. I always take my money out after 2x. And DCA out profits 10x, 20x. Where I'm wrong with my initial spot positions. Yeah, exactly. No one went broke taking profits. Many times, not with big positions. I have, but at 50k, I say I'm still holding this to a mil and back hold it down. Yeah. And I always think, like, people should know what a lot of money is to them, right? So if you're sat in a bag that's worth $500,000 working at a job that pays $30,000 a year, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why people aren't taking half of that stuff out? Cheers, Tony. Yeah. I will never know. Unless you are literally like 18 years old and you've got your entire life to to make it all up. And you're degenning it for like a milli. And no commitments and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, where do we want to go? It's 10 past 8 now. It does take time to build the experience, but it doesn't take any time at all to build a fucking plan. None. None at all. If you're putting some money on a trade, when you're in it, right, let's say I want a long pendle now, right? So let's say someone comes to me and goes, right, Charlie, you got a fucking bet. You got a fucking bet on pendle right now, or I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking head. I'm gonna go, alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna short this. I'm gonna say this is a rejection. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go down to these lows. And I'm gonna enter my position. Bosh, bosh, bosh. I'm gonna put a stop in there. Bosh. And then I'm gonna put a take profit in there. And maybe another little take profit in there. Bosh, bosh. And then I'm gonna say, if we start selling off and we come down to this low here, I'm gonna move this to break even. Right? Bosh. Done. Entire fucking trade plan. Done. That's it. Don't need to think about this now. I've set my condition for changing my stop. Right? And maybe the other condition is, like, if we start seeing some relative strength, which is a general condition in all my trading anyway, like, if I'm short, let's say I'm short this, if I saw relative strength on a move up, I'd be allowed to just go and close it, right? So that's it. That's my conditions. Got all my conditions laid out in front of me. If this, then that. If this, then that. If this, then that. Take profit here. Take profit here. Done, done, done. Under what circumstances would I be allowed to let this run? Probably on the basis that BTC fucking shits the bed and loses the range, and this thought process plays out, right? Because if we're losing that and we're short a high beta asset, well, it's probably gonna fucking die, let's be honest, right? So maybe I can hold it for a change in market structure, So once we actually break it in terms of a higher low, or we break some form of EMA trend, right? Bosh. That's what I'm getting at. So all that stuff, all done, all planned. And now my silly little emotional human brain can just switch off. You can just autopilot it and go, has that happened? No. Well, alright, keep the position open. Well, alright, I'll take some profit. Well, alright, I was wrong on that trade idea. Close. Done. That's what I find people stress about the most. It's not even the losing. It's the being in control or not being in control, as the case may be. That's typically the question that people ask. Anyway, I've rambled, as usual. What am I doing this week? I'm recording some videos, I'm playing some computer games, I am sorting some boring business admin out, I am looking for some shitcoins, I am aping some shitty low caps on Solana. Myro has been pretty strong in terms of relative strength. Someone was very kind enough to tell me earlier today that the kind of previous all-time high retest on Myro didn't work, which is one of my usual favourite setups. I actually think I posted it around here. We got a nice bounce from it, but excuse me, just cough right into the mic for your viewing pleasure. So I think it did. I think it did play out, just not new all-time highs or anything like that. But again, like, mark up some levels on charts where you're interested in bags that you didn't have. Up here, everyone was jealous of Myro, right? Down here, nobody wants it. Same with Kai. Fucking hell. We're off. No, so Kai is up. I don't know why it hasn't kept my shite, my colours. Kai's up 52% today. Like, Jesus Christ. I love on-chain low caps. They're fun. I should do ASMR. I'll tell you what, mate, if the bear market really does, or sorry, if the bull market really doesn't come back, I'm down to do it. Just donate, like, I don't know, Bitcoin or something. What games do I play? I still play a bit of CS. I only a tiny bit. I played World of Warcraft. Play World of Warcraft whenever kind of time lets me. I'm still terrible at it, even after playing it for like 15 years. Just PvP. It's because I play like every class and I play it badly. I basically get them all to like 2.1, 2.2k, and then I get frustrated with them, or I get one shot by something, and then I just go and reroll, basically. Scale them to more kind of $1. I mean, again, have a plan to sell it and make profit. Otherwise, you won't make profit. But as with a lot of these things, like, they're all down. They're all down massively from their highs. Massively. I will do 1 or 2 more charts, maybe answer one more question, and then run away. But I think this is just the time to set some levels, set and forget, go learn some stuff, go practice some stuff. Find some things that you're interested in. Go find out about runes and ordinals and all that kind of stuff if that's what you're interested in. Maybe take a glance at Zill. Unfortunately, one of my biggest bags. Do I like Ondo? Yeah, I covered Ondo at the start of the stream, but I will go to Zill. I think you might have asked this last week. Oof. So, like for me, big problem with ZIL is there's not many coins that see multiple cycles and do really well. Is the blunt way of putting it, right? And we obviously had that pump pack there, which was like one of the only coins to pump, I think. But we've basically got this real high time frame level that I've already got marked out. And then from a lower time frame perspective, we're kind of back in. Well, not quite back in. You're kind of lucky, I suppose. We're just above, the previous, like, it's not even an accumulation range because it's quite choppy. Do you know what I mean? It's ups, downs, and the range of that is quite high. But for me, like, what I'd want to see from ZIL, and like I want to see from pretty much everything, right, is just some strength and just some form of demand. Just show me that there is demand for this token. Like, you are basically praying that this is it. That was the sell-off. And that the trade thesis in my head is something like this. Which is pretty, it's not great. Go to the pub a bit. Lovely. Got demolished on this one. Gonna go now, bro. See you later. Lomnatrix. It's a hard name for me to say. But equally, you're pretty sold off. In terms of RSI, it's not a generally strong coin from a relative strength perspective, and this is relative strength index. I mean relative strength as in this. Not that I have it on here, I don't think. Let's see, but obviously just looking at it doesn't look particularly great. I struggle with these kind of coins because I don't know what the narrative is that's going to bring ZIL back into play, and typically the more cycles a coin has, the kind of more it fades into irrelevancy. There are some exceptions, Doge, ETH, Solana, etc. But yeah, there are quite a few that just die and are gone. Yeah, there's kind of nothing that makes me particularly excited to kind of long this. So, yeah. It's a gaming token in general. Is it? What, Clash of Clans? No, I don't play Clash of Clans, mate. You bought more amino? Oh. I was gonna say, I haven't seen ammo. Oof. Absolutely destroyed. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's like just dipping. Just like pure downtrend, even in the strength, and then a little uptrend, and not particularly great. One would hope that if there is going to be a low, it's this. My other bag, I think I said it to you the other day, which has been like the most disappointing bag in terms of my conviction versus its performance as token site, which I am just holding. And I think I'm going to become a full-time community member and mod of token site, to be honest, because yeah, frankly, I've held it down quite a lot. What a long injective. Well, this is gonna be my last question. Then I'm gonna go play some World of Warcraft. Actually, like a degenerate. No. Nope. Quite nice in terms of like bounce from this level, but from a relative strength perspective, there are better charts. There's an easy way to try and get on board, which is like literally breaking this downtrend and stop under here and doing all that. But it's been in a strong downtrend for a little while, like the rest of the market, right? So why do I want to long into a strong downtrend and try and catch the bottom? Nothing better than becoming a community member paying. I mean, yeah, no, like it's genuinely a good product, and I'm bound to be a community member on some things. That's fine. You're also a holder of the TKST downtrend. Nice. We go down together. I will pump it as best I can, my brother. Do you use on-chain stuff as hero or zero write-offs? Yeah, pretty much, mate. It's rare that I like if I 2x on an on-chain play, I won't do anything with it. If I 5x, typically I'll take some off. Depending on my read of the general market. If I 10x, I definitely take out my initial and usually a little bit more. So that I usually take like 15% of my position out, so that I'm just up, right? And then I've got half on my next bag, and then off you go. So there was one that I tweeted about before, which was quite a fucking ride, to be honest with you. Oh Jesus, it's really shit the bed. I think I tweeted about it down here somewhere. And my friend told me about it here, and so I bought somewhere in here, and it went like up massively. Tweeted about it here, I think. Didn't give a ticker or anything like that, and then it sold off massively, and then I think I gave the ticker here, and then it just went vroom, and then obviously it sold off and went minus 95%, and then from there went like 300x or something stupid, and it's just like absolutely bananas. I can't remember when I sold it, but I sold some more up here somewhere, and then obviously it's down massively, and then it's up massively, and it's just like memes are fucking wild. Looks like chart is what inspect might be if it doesn't reclaim. Yeah, exactly, and that's why I like having the reclaim first, so that you can show some strength, and that you can actually get that kind of confirmation of bullish bias, right? So big range, sell off, reclaim, invalidation under there, job done. Yeah, that's far better than that. And obviously a lot of that's going to depend on BTC and how BTC is performing and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I will love you and leave you all, and thank you for your participation in the chat. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for chatting generally to me on Twitter and making my life on social media a nice bit of fun. Hopefully you enjoy some of the rants, chats, rambles, verging on insight around managing positions and planning, in particular, that this lecture has become. But yeah, if you like it, press like. I'm not sure it's a massive inconvenience for you, and it helps me apparently in the algos. And I will be doing this every week, and we will try and have some reasonable. My friend Chris messaged me saying, I actually listened to some of your stream today. It was not full of bullish opium, and you did not do bullish TA on banana. So I'm not tuning in again. Very, very kind. Yeah. I will endeavour to do a couple more videos on YouTube generally, and do a couple of quick, like 2-minute bits of content, just so that it keeps the algo happy. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind helping me and like subscribing and doing all that kind of stuff, which I feel cringe saying about, then yeah, keep up the ASMR idea. Yeah, I will do. Particularly if the market just keeps going down like this. I'm going to have to. It's that or bathwater. Cheers everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Au revoir.